This meeting is being recorded.
Oh, so I forgot to ask you to pronounce your name for me.
It's Karin.
Okay, I had thought so, but I wanted to make sure because where I'm from, we would pronounce it Karen, which I'm sure that you hear a lot.
Which I'm sure 90% of my clients call me Karin, Karin, Corinne. All good. Everything works.
Awesome. So, Karin Nahmani, yes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, please. Thank you so much for being here with us, for one, and talking with us today. I'm really excited about our topic. But go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience and tell them what you're all about.
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for having me, Savannah. It's my pleasure and my honor to be here to again talk about the most important subject in the world and that I'm so connected and love is gut issues, gut health, the importance of the gut, or as I like to call it, shit in a very different perspective. So I'm Karin Nahmani. I'm a mother of four amazing kids, married. I'm in the health business for 24 years. I own Pure Center, which is a clinic for colonics. That's my major job, is to clean people, cleaning shit of people, cleaning waste, cleaning people, and putting them on the fast track to better life or changing their life to the best, rethinking and evaluate what's important. And like I mentioned, I have Pure Center as a clinic. I own also a vitamin company. It's called Noah Vitamins. And again, it's all connected to the health, gut issues, gut health, which is probiotics, digestive enzymes, all the good stuff. And I wrote a book. It's called Shit Isn't a Dirty Word. So I'm holding under my like big hat author as well. Over the years, people just ask me why there is no information about what I do. So I put it in writing, as funny as it gets, simple for the average person to understand what is it all about. So yeah, colonics is a big name for what I do. But in the past 24 years, that's what I do. I preach, I talk in every stage that they give me to bring that subject to the mainstream. I want people to talk shit. I know. Sounds funny, but that's my dream, is that people are not going to be embarrassed by having constipation or diarrhea or gas, bloating, headaches, the regular average things that I think 90% of the population suffer from, but no one really think about the connection. Now, this is just one aspect, is the physical aspect. The other aspect is the emotional and the spiritual that goes along with it. This is what I'm all about. This is what I want people to understand. You can see in my smile that I talk the walk, I walk the talk. That's what I do in my life. That's what I do to myself. I clean myself. I teach others how to change something small in their diet or life and to have a better experience. And this is the light things. The heavier is the disease we surround, like cancer, like Crohn, like other fatigues, migraines, fertility, all those big names. And they're all connected to the gut. So what you're gonna call me, the queen of shit, the queen of gut. This is names I heard over and over again. Shit whisper, you name it. Everything start and end in the gut. Today more than ever, and I'm so excited because today more than ever, when you go to any doctor, regular doctor, the first question they will ask, or they should ask, is how many times did you poop today or in the past week? It's a question they didn't ask before, and I'm so happy they start to, because that's the first indication of what you have in general, of how your health and everyday life is about. So yeah, that's like in general what I do. And I
Awesome.
love
It's very effective marketing for sure. It gets attention.
it. I know, I'm getting it a lot. It's like it's a gold egg, but not everybody wants to talk about. I'm all for the subject that no one's want to say a word about. And it's so important. I have to say, Savannah, it's so important. And if that was disease of maybe old people, or only if you eat shit you suffer. No, it's so not. It actually, I want to say, I'm not that great in math, but I want to say that 95% of the population will have at least one out of those three is bloating, fatigue, constipation, and I'm going to add one more thing, headache
Okay.
and back pain. It's a very common problem that I think everyone have, but no one makes a big deal out of it till it's a problem. So
Yes.
as long as it's not a problem, you live with it. And you can live without doing colonics. I'm not saying that that's going to be what's going to save, your life. Just going to improve your life a lot. But sometimes that small problem like back pain can be reflected on so much shit that is staying in your colon and it's pressing on your back. That's why there is back pain. And same goes for constipation. Same goes for migraines. When there is so much toxins in the body, it will come as headache. And that's just one thing. And if we're taking it to the spiritual thing of it, we're holding from our past. We're holding emotions. We're holding traumas. We're holding happiness, sadness, things that happen to us. And that can cause a physical problem. So, yeah, if we talk about it, everything starts in our gut.
Yeah, that's what Hippocrates said, the father of medicine, and back in
True.
ancient Rome or Greek, somewhere around in there, said every
Yeah.
health begins in the gut. It's all about our gut microbiome. We have neurons in our digestive system, just like we have neurons in our brain, also in our heart, but we're not talking about that system today. And that,
That system, by the way, is connected to your gut.
oh, sure, they all.
Imagine if someone get a heart attack. Well, the heart is the problem, right? But if someone have problem in the colon, it will affect the heart, not the opposite. So that's why it's so important. It's like, think about it like the major engine of the car. If that engine doesn't work properly, this car is not going to get far.
Yeah, our digestive tract helps us not only to digest our food, but also our emotions too, our
Mhm.
thoughts, our feelings.
Yeah,
Like you said earlier, the traumas. We don't realize there's so much to unpack from what just you've said already.
I know. That's why it's so important to talk about it. And every time we do talk about it, people are like covering, like, no, I poop 100 times a day. No, I don't have a problem. And I'm saying, Houston, it's okay. You don't have a problem. It's amazing. Keep pooping 20 times a day. Just release toxins out of the system. And I talked about cars before. We live in America, and I think every American that own a car take the car every 3 months for tune-up, right?
They should.
Should. You don't have to do that. I mean, if we think about it, this car will drive, right?
For now.
Unless you live in California and the distance are long. But that car should run even if that oil is very dirty, and it should. I mean, you don't have to tune it up. But what's going to happen few years after when problems start? When that pipe will be stuck with some dirty oil, or I don't know, whatever there is inside that oil, it's going to block something. And then you're going to see the car doesn't move. And then you have a problem. Think about it as our body. We can live with constipation for years to come and take laxatives as many as we want. In some point, those laxatives are not going to work. And then we need something extra. And after a while, living with constipation and fatigue and cramps and stomachache, it's going to take the toll till one day, bless you, see, everything I say, it's true, till one day your body will stop. This major cleansing organ will stop function. And then we start to see disease come, because they never come in once. Constipation will lead to headache, will lead to sometimes cancer, sometimes other ugly things, and that will affect. And then the person will remember, oh, I need to do something about it because nothing moves right now. So my suggestion to everybody, don't wait till something happens. Prevent. Start to clean your body. Worst come to worst, you're just going to feel better. I mean, that's the worst that can happen. And you're going to feel cleaner.
Yeah, it's easier to fix a problem before it becomes a problem, for sure, rather than that's exactly what most of us do, is we wait until the problem occurs because we don't want to address it, because we don't want to think about it, we don't want to look at it, especially on this topic right here. As you said, nobody wants to talk about this one specifically. It goes across the board. Nobody wants to look at anything healthy wise until they have to. Well,
Sure.
I say no one. I say probably the most.
The percentage are low. The majority. You're absolutely right. I wish it was the opposite, but like everything in life, and I'm gonna take it spiritual way. You're not gonna get close to God unless something really terrible happened to you, and you try to find Him, right? And I'm saying, trust God every day. Don't wait for something horrible to happen to you to feel close. It can be on everything in life. That's why I'm saying colonics or cleansing or talking about shit or cleaning or keep it clean and keep it healthy. It's not just mantra. It's not just, oh, let's do that because it's in the mainstream right now. It's something that is so important so we can actually live on this planet, so we can love ourselves. Because, I mean, you're a woman and I'm a woman, and you know as much as I do that deep inside we care about the outside. I mean, not me and you maybe, but the majority cares about the outside, how it's look like. No one asks question, by the way, when someone goes to do Botox or whatever it is. No one asks, what's the worst that can happen to me, or what is this poison you put inside? Obviously no one asks. They do. When it comes to colonic cleanser, there is so many questions that I'm always happy to answer. But we care about the outside. But you know what? If the inside is not well, it's going to show off outside at the end of the day. So my slogan of the business is beauty comes from inside out. It's not the opposite. It's amazing to clean and then give that amazing treatment, whatever you do to the skin. Or colonics, by the way, clean toxins, and toxins clearing from the skin, which is the biggest system of all. And that's why you can see my skin. It's no makeup, no nothing. I mean, I'm 48. I forgot to mention it. Never had Botox in my life. Not that I'm against. It's amazing for whoever wants to. The major thing is when you clean, you see it. It's radiate out of you. You are like fresh, clean, happy. And it's reflect on your soul, on happiness, really happiness from inside. And you don't need to do a lot for that. That's the major thing.
Yeah, it's energy, and you can see that energy and you can feel that energy. You could look at anybody and see exactly how healthy or unhealthy they are on the insides based on their face, their body,
yeah.
their posture.
Trust me, I do that every day.
Yeah, and that's why, and you're right, it's a lifestyle. It's a way of life. It's not just wait until something bad happens, or like diets, for example. I don't agree with diet culture because everybody treats it as a temporary thing. You overhaul your whole diet for a set amount of time until you get the results you want or whatever. And then everybody falls off and they wonder why they can't keep up with it. And it's like, well, because you're trying to do too much. You're not looking at it from a sustainable direction. You're looking at it from like a quick fix. But we have to be working towards who we want to be 30 years from now consistently, not just within the next year, not just for our summer bod.
You actually said the magic word, quick fix.
Mm.
Because we're living in, I mean, it's not our fault, obviously, but it is and it's not. But we live in this society and world that everything, as we speak, everything is right now. I mean, if before you needed to write a letter that's gonna be mailed and then you're gonna read and enjoy and smile, today it's a click away. A text message mean nothing. You don't even read the whole thing. You read probably like the first brief, in, out, done deal. Same as digestion. People don't digest. You don't really like, you don't really, digest your food. You swallow it. Same as diet. Now, about diet, I have a lot to say. A good diet is what we eat. That's the definition of diet. But people think diet is weight loss
Yes.
because that's how they represent it. But diet in general is what we eat, is exactly the menu that we should eat a day, the amount of calories or whatever. Every fast thing will come back fast. So we're wasting half of our life to lose weight, to pay this magic pill and the other magic food, and eating cartons and papers and say, oh, it's yummy because I lost weight. When in reality, we spend the other half on amazing restaurants. If you think about it, how screwed we are. We wasting money to eat well, and then we wasting the money to lose it. It's crazy, but it's true. Now, for everybody out there, I'm saying there is no quick fix and there is no one diet for all. The same way there is no one cleanse for all. There is nothing that fits everybody. Why? Because we're different people. We have different baggage. We have different emotions. We're coming from different background, different food, different everything. So it's impossible to give you one diet that's going to fit 20 other. In reality, it might, but when you really see it, if you and your boyfriend or your husband will do the same thing, he probably is more going to lose less. Probably that's not happen. Or with another friend, it can happen for all. And if you want to stick to a good diet, have a diet that your weight loss is for long term and you can live with it. You can't live on juices, you can't live on fast, you can, I mean, this is all amazing brand thing, and I call it like commercial.
Yes.
It's all brand name for everything. The fact you're buying in Whole Food doesn't mean you're healthy. That's my slogan to it. Like the fact you bought 3 juices a day doesn't mean you're like a healthy, holistic person. It just means that you just join the rest of the crowd that does the same. Same goes for cleansing. The same cleanse is not good for all, but it's a good start for everybody. And everybody have their own phase of cleaning. And each stage of cleaning, as a therapist, I see what comes out of you, so I can actually give you, only you, what to expect next. And even you, when you come to my sessions, one session is not going to look like the second session, is not going to look like the third. Why? Because you had different day, different emotion, you ate different thing, so it's all about us, individual. And the moment we're going to start to look at ourselves individual and actually go to the core of it, love ourselves, love every bit, but really love, not saying, oh, I love myself because I went to this class no, love the good and the bad, because you can always improve. You cannot go backwards. And beating yourself for something you've done, definitely not going to help. And actually it causes more stress, more disease. So my suggestion to a lot of people is start to live happy. Happy doesn't mean go with a smile. Happy means happy with choices you make. Every good choice you make, or even bad choice you make, just deal with it, move on. If you're taking that baggage claim to the next level, that's a disease. That means you didn't really, in reality, you didn't get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that you see a lot when I do colonics. Colonics, by the way, for the audience, is a treatment to clean the colon. The colon is 5.7 feet long, and it can contain up to 15 pounds of shit. Yes, 15 pounds of waste, shit, poop, whatever you want to call it. So it's not fat. And imagine we carry that everywhere we go, how dirty we are. And when you see those things coming out, you're amazed. Like, I mean, seeing it, it's blow-minded, because it's really hard to admit that I'm full of shit. I will admit I'm full of shit, literally. But the average person, he's not going to admit he's dirty, obviously. But we spend so much time telling ourselves, no, we're good, we're this, we're dealing, we're releasing. But in reality, we don't really release, because as long as we hold it, it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the time, and I'm sure you can remember some good time in your life, maybe even 3 months ago, that you went through a phase of changing, because there is always change. Changing maybe work, changing life, changing houses, changing career. But the change was good, and you did great job on yourself, and you attend classes, and you attend like body work and amazing thing. But the last really thing that you need to lose or to get ready is what you hold. And this is the one part physically that no one give attention to, and we're still holding. So there is no full releasing of anything. And when you come to colonics, and it's amazing because people are coming right at the right time, I guess, in their life. And when you see everything comes out of it and you get that release mode, that's when you give that ending story to all your release changes in right on the spot. That's why I'm in love with this treatment, because what you see is what you get. I mean, I'm not hiding anything. So about the treatment is 45 minutes procedure. It sounds worse than it actually is, because I don't have any other way to describe it. But it's a great feeling during and afterwards. And the releasing part, it's like, wow, it's like taking stone out of, your body. And it's great. I highly recommend it to everybody to at least do once in their life. Now, if you can't do colonics, there is other ways you can use. It's enema. And it's not a colonics, but it's a great base to start something. And then change your diet to fit good diet to your needs. And then add some good nutrients, good vitamins. Now, we live in society that we buy everything they sell us, without knowing that all those vitamins, if your gut is dirty and stuck, they're not going to go anywhere, and you're going to poop half of it out and pee some of it. So you're going to get the minimum. But if you want to get the maximum potency of every nutrient or food or juice, you better clean yourself first. Like, that's in general. And it's amazing treatment. Like I said, it sounds worse, but it's a lot easier than it sounds, and doesn't hurt.
It just sounds terrifying and uncomfortable.
I know. Well, let me tell you one thing about uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to be sick.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I rather 45 minutes of discomfort and amazing life. But
Yeah, we're just now getting to that whole mind-body connection understanding. Beforehand, like I'm sure 20 years ago when you got started, did you already know about the connection of emotions and bodily functions, or was that something that you learned later on with the practice?
that's amazing question. It's I can answer in two parts. One part is I was born with a gift. The gift of touching people, touching in their soul, in their body, touching. I think I always had that healing touch. And when I went to school, I started as a massage therapist. And then right away, I signed for a naturopathic doctor. That was my route. Nutrition was always something that drove me, but hands-on was the one thing I clicked really well. It was like dancing, like it was very natural to me. So when I used to massage, right then it was the connection of body, mind, soul,
Mm.
because it's amazing how sometimes you touch, you have the reiki and you have the release of those crystals, and you come for back pain, and you get with emotional, it's like you can cry, laugh, there is a lot of reaction.
Mhm.
During my school years, I learned more detox, because I don't even know how to explain it. Something like calling. It was just meant to be. On my days learning detox, that's when they introduced colonics to me. And on with that being said, colonics back then was like, no, I didn't dreamed of cleaning people. I mean, that wasn't my dream. Let's put it that way. But as doing my internship, I worked with cancer patient. Well, that moment, I think everything fell into place. That moment, it was an opening eyes, you can call it. My soul path, everything aligned to what I need to do. I don't even have words to describe it. It was just that. Fell in love. I knew this is my this is my destiny. That is what I want to do. And in purpose, I'm saying cancer because cancer is one thing I'm very related to in so many ways. And my dream is to work with a lot of cancer patients, which I do, to see the smile on their face after a cleanse was the world to me. Till today, I mean, this is my biggest part, because it's not about fixing anybody or making them, healthier. It's about giving them that moment of relief to feel human. And this is something it's hard to even describe, because it's that smile when you see that I have a good day. Those people don't go to the restroom while a lot of them suffer from a lot of constipation when they do chemo. That's one of the side effects, unfortunately. And people go for 10 days, 20 days not using restroom, only on laxatives. So imagine that someone like me or any other therapist that come and give them that release. It's not just physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's feeling human for that moment, not even that day, but that moment. And that said it all. That was my purpose in life. This is my soul. I want to say that's pretty much what brought me from the back door to colonics. That's how I chose to do what I do. And yes, it was hard. 30 years ago, no one talks about colonics. 24 years ago, when I started my practice here in LA, people looked at me like crazy, include my husband, include all my closest friends, family, that told me, "Are you out of your mind? Just keep teaching massage. Who's gonna come for you? Who?" And I said back then, and it feels vivid, like I said today, I want to be from the first seeds. I want to be the leader in that field to make that movement. I want to take that movement up, because this is the most important. And if it was easier, probably I wouldn't do. I like challenges. It wasn't easy. It's still not easy. Again, I'm talking about it everywhere possible, on every stage. I have my own podcast. It's called Shit is in a Dirty Word. I wrote 2 books. Now it's translated to Hebrew. Everywhere I go, I bring the awareness, because this is my destiny. This is my purpose in life, is to make a change. And if you look at all the crazy people that make change in our life, they looked at them as crazy. So it's okay. It's just a good thing. It's a compliment to call me crazy. But if I can help one person, I help the world. That makes it to me. When I wake up in the morning, that's my purpose.
Yeah. It's the gut health, I don't know, evolution, revolution. It's really
Yeah.
gaining.
It's going well. It's amazing. I mean, I must say that in the past 7 years, people talk about it, but they talk about it because they heard about colon cancer. Because let me tell you, Savannah, colon cancer and cancer in general is rising. The numbers are rising up like crazy. If before we thought colon cancer is for some old person, no, it's not. Young people have colon cancer, and a lot of young men have colon cancer. So it's a disease that a lot of people have. If it was third on place today, I think it's number 2. It's rising.
Yeah.
And it's important.
And it's not just our diet. Again, it's our emotions, our
It's everything.
toxins, the things that we interact with, the emotions we take on from there. Yoga also releases trapped emotions the same way. It's in like the massage does as well. Anything, it gets because we are what we consume, not only through food, but through what we watch on TV, what we listen to, the books, the movies, the podcasts, the interactions we have with other people, really the interactions we have with other people. There is nothing more impactful in our life for our health, happiness, fulfillment, well-being, and our trauma, despair, loneliness, like the biggest ends of the spectrum are our relationships. And we hold on to that in every part of our body. So, and it can make us sick.
Yeah, you touched a very important subject, because I mean, I'm talking about gut health and that everything starts there, but as we talked before, it's one big triangle. It's emotional, physical, and spiritual. It's all 3 cannot exist one without the other, and one will affect. It's like a domino effect. And uh, we live also in a world that there is a lot of commercials, a lot of selling. They sell you health through whole food, organic, be vegan. I mean, in our head, vegan equal skinny and healthy, which in reality, vegan can be equal big, unhealthy, and a lot of disease.
Mhm.
So it's not necessarily true. And the fact we're buying in whole food or any other healthy store, it doesn't mean it doesn't have sugar or fat or carbs, or it's so healthy. Also, healthy food sometimes is not good for us. And I'm going to break some myths about kale. Kale is disaster to our body, and it was the year of kale. Everything was with kale, and our body cannot digest that shit. And I keep telling people, just take it, remove it out of your diet. Just take something else like spinach, like asparagus. There is other things that's just 10,000 times much healthier than kale. But because it was like a brand already, people are just leaning on kale, on this, you know what I mean, about selling. But they don't want us to be really healthy, because if they wanted to be healthy, they wouldn't, sell you drugs that you should be addicted to, and laxatives that will kill your gut and punch holes in your gut and makes your colon lazy, and that will cause other different disease. But no one talks about it. Why? Because some doctor prescribe you this and that and that. And I'm not saying not all the doctors are the same, and there is amazing doctors in the field. But you did touch a really good point, is our emotions, our feeling, our thoughts, our well-being. And that's why I talked about be happy. Happiness, happiness equal health.
Mhm.
More than the food you're intaking, because you can be on strict diet and eat healthy as hell and exercise, but when you don't like yourself and you're angry and you're holding on, you can create disease more than any other person that's going to eat McDonald's every day. I'm not saying it's a good thing to eat McDonald's, but like for that, with that being said, there is connection and there is no connection. So when people come to me, I know I'm odd in this all health field. People do look at me like the odd unicorn, because I teach people first be healthy. I mean, be happy. If you can hold happiness to 80% of your life, happy also with bad choices.
Mhm.
Let's say you wanted to drink today wine. Drink it. You already did. Why beat yourself for it?
Mhm.
Why telling yourself, my God, I will gain that 1 pound. It's not good. Just tell yourself the opposite. Did you enjoy the wine? Amazing. Tomorrow, don't drink it. It's a very simple thing. Very simple. Even if you had a bad day today, always look up for the next day, because you know what? When tomorrow comes, you can't change yesterday. Yesterday will pass. It's never coming back to you. So it's all a matter of how to take things and look at things in life that can make your life a little bit better than they started, and knowing there is a light at the end of the tunnel. That's for me happy. Happy with myself, even if I'm 5 pounds more. Okay, and ask yourself, do I do anything for those 5 pounds, or I just complain I gain 5 pounds?
Mhm.
You know, if it bothers you that much, do something about it. If not, if you don't do anything about, don't bother to complain. That complaint is not good.
Mhm. Yeah, it'll make it.
And yeah, it's only make it worse. And that's why everything starts with 80% happiness, because I know a lot of people personally that have clean diet, but from the other hand, take anti-anxiety pills, antidepressant pills. So you're killing it. So what you done with it? So I'd rather that you get eat shit and take that shit out of your life. That is made me more happy. But this is something I have to say, like, because it's like, take it off my chest for people, audience that listen to us. Everything that happened to us, to you, to us, it's not just happened for a reason. It does, but more to it. Everything we feel, it's normal. Normal. That's what makes us human. God's sake. That's what I call be human. When something hurt me, it's okay. It's supposed to hurt because that's what humanity is. That's what the human body works. That cell hurt, that means it's alive. Obviously, if it wasn't alive, it wouldn't hurt. And as I always like to describe things as like, when the AKG goes up and down, that means we're alive. When it's perfect, you have one straight line, we're dead. It's very important. There is no such a thing perfect. That's why I aim to 80%. 80% of good health, 80% of good nutrition, 80% of happiness will lead you to good, stable, healthy lifestyle with good choices. And that is all about that is what we're all working towards. Because I'm sure you know, and I'm sure you attend so many classes about how to love yourself, how to clean yourself, how is a God, all those, right? But in reality, if we're not practice what we're learn, doesn't mean shit to me. Doesn't mean anything. It's like really, it's another thing that in our background.
Yeah, you have to look at those motivations behind why you're cleaning up your diet. And if it's because of self-loathing, then you're activating we have the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And the fight, flight, freeze, fawn response, which more or less shuts down our ability to digest. And so if we're hating on ourselves and we're worried about things and we're angry about things and we're complaining about things, then that is our fight or flight nervous system shutting everything down to address the immediate concern. And we need to flip ourselves into the rest, digest, and heal, which is the counterpart of that. So if you're focusing on the emotion side, which is more
Love.
yes, than the actual diet side, then you're able to digest not only your food, but your emotions. And, all of that digestion turns into your body because you are what you consume. You are what you eat.
True.
And if
You're,
it's all clogged up, you can't digest anything. And then
you're,
barely getting,
you're so right.
yeah.
You're so right. And that's what I'm saying. Like love. Where is love? Love between friends, love between like compassion, love, talking, expressing. That's part of who we are. And unfortunately, we're going into a world that shut those things up. And that's why you have more people that shattered, lonely, isolated, no reflection. That's why when you see Botox, like living in LA, you just see it a lot. It's like the same reflection on every face. It's like no reflection. It's like who we are, how vulnerable. It's okay to be sensitive. It's okay to let go, to deal, let go, process. Like it's amazing. It's powerful because when you do all those things, the power is in your hand. But when we give that power away to pills, doctors, medications, we think we're in control, but as a matter of fact, we're not.
Yeah. I had something to go from there, but I was just letting you talk. And Forgot it all.
No, it's like, it's amazing. I mean, it's a subject that we need like 20,000 podcasts just to talk about one subject, but
Yeah,
it's
sure.
really hard to put everything, and as people that knows me know that I like to give as much as possible. That's me, giving, giving, giving. But the most important that I want your audience to understand about what I do and why it's so important to talk about it, it's because I want to save them, save the time, save like the obstacle that will meet them in some point. And I want them to live after that podcast with something in their head that will think about their gut health.
Yeah.
And with that being said, colonics is important, gut health is important. The poop is important, shape, colors, smells. And this is the most important part of everything. So if anyone in the audience will go home next time he poop, he's gonna look at what comes out and say, oh, that bitch, say something about it, let's see. Because there is like there is meaning to the colors, the shapes, and the smell that are so important to identify disease or problems. So, yeah, very important. People, look at what comes out of you. It's not just poop, it's the very important information. And listen to your body, listen to signs. The body gives signs all the time.
Mhm.
We don't want to listen to it because maybe tomorrow I'm not going to feel that way, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So listen. If you have constipation more than 4 or 5 days, something is wrong. The fact you're going to go one time, good time, doesn't mean anything. And the fact people do go to the restroom 2 times a day doesn't mean they don't need colonics. They still need, because there is no elimination of 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is little tips like those that are very important that I want to share with your audience. Is listen, be aware, be in tuned with your body, and know how to say, oh, that's not right. If the smell is too strong, that means like in life, if the smell is strong, that means something is rotten there, something is old. That means that, okay, maybe I'm not eliminating like I should.
It's a surrender in all the ways.
Yeah.
Holding on to it's energy, full
Yeah.
coming full circle. And the more you understand the energy aspect and how you can apply it to actual bodily lifestyle functions and everything that every one of us has to uh, navigate, the more these things begin to be more intuitive. Because you're right, your body is always talking to you. It just doesn't use words. And we think that because it doesn't use words, it's not actually saying anything. It's not trying to communicate. It's just a feeling that we had. But your feelings are pointing you towards things, and you can tune into your intuition and decide what that means for you. And then you can try a road that feels right for you. And if that one works, then great. And if it doesn't, then maybe it needs tweaking a little bit, but keep tweaking what you decide to do about it until you figure out what works for you.
Yeah. And I'm going to give the last tip is when something is already happened, for example, when cancer happened, that I'm taking the worst of all, that means that you had so many signs, so many, we didn't listen. And when it's already happened, that means that it's already been there for more than a year, more than a year that we didn't make the connection. So that's why it's so important to listen, to see, to make sure that there is no repeat things more than a week. Something is wrong. Check it out. I rather disease, because by the time the body's shut down, that means that its signs are not going to help you right now, you know. So yeah, it's to listen, to see, to investigate. I'm not saying go to the doctor for every small thing, but if something is happen really often, you know, check it out. Better be safe than sorry. Colonoscopy is one of the best, you know, best treatment. I mean, lab work that you can do to identify cancer before it even happened, or if it happened, it's just early stage. So yeah, a lot of people are afraid to do it because it's uncomfortable. Well, uncomfortable for one day, but save life, you know. It's comfortable for a lot of days. So it's a matter of choice, your choice.
Well, I definitely know a couple of people, or I don't personally know. My parents know a couple of people who have actually died during colonoscopies.
Because it was too late.
Mm, that's fair. That's fair. We put things off until it's too late for all the time.
Very simple. Very simple. Colonoscopy is something anyone from age, I want to say 45, 50, start to check up. It's one exam every 5 years. If there is something, you better know about it. And if there isn't, you know about it. So it's same as, you know, breast cancer, same as every exam, pap smear. It's uncomfortable, but you know what? Life is uncomfortable. What can we do?
There is. No, I'm definitely one of those people who are just going to randomly drop dead one day. We have no idea why. Because and that's why I do all of this, is because I saw my grandparents and other family members, just when I was a kid, they were so sick and they were just taking pill after pill after pill and having surgery after surgery and after surgery. And I watched them and their health, and in my early 20s, I was like, there is no way that humans have evolved to be this sickly. It has to be something we're doing wrong. And from
True.
there, I just started researching how to be the healthiest version of myself that I possibly can, so that I can avoid, because I don't really trust a lot of the systems that we have in place anyway. And I have stories about that we could go into,
No,
but
and that's okay. I always say listen to your gut,
yeah.
to everything you do. There is some medication that are lifesaver, and there is some operation that they're lifesaver, and it's all good as long as we're not extreme to any side, and we have the knowledge to choose one over the other. You know, it's funny because back in the days, holistic medicine was like, or complete medicine they used to call it, which in reality holistic medicine and natural health medicine is a complete to the regular medicine. And if we're going to be smart enough to know that only both of them can work together and you can get 100%, so many people will be alive and healthy, because there is places that the regular medicine cannot do a lot, and there is places that the natural health medicine cannot do a lot. And you know, and I can argue about it, but you know what, if appendix attack you, you need a doctor that will operate you. No natural medicine, no magic will work. So if we're smart enough to understand when to put our no and yes and combine those two together, we can get a great treatment.
Absolutely. You got to use discernment. We have all of these tools available, and cutting out half of them is just setting us up for failure.
Yeah, it's just to be smart about it. And I'm so thankful I have people in my life like yourself that helping me to put that word out, because it's important to me as much as it's going to be important to your audience, as much as it's important to bring that information out there. I know I broke every glass wall there is in this planet when it comes down to shit. But if I'm going to tell you that 20 years ago, no one wanted to talk about breast cancer and cancer in general, people were afraid. People were ashamed they had cancer. And you're going to look at me and tell me, Karin, are you out of your mind? You better talk about cancer. It's so important to talk about cancer, right? But it wasn't like that till someone, I don't know, in the TV came out and say, oh, I have cancer. I have a breast cancer. Wow. What information. Of course, we should share and talk about it, because talking about it will help others. And there is a lot of people that deal with the same shit as you. So why not to help others? And for all the audience, please do not be ashamed you have constipation. Just feel 99% of the world is with you. They all suffer from some constipation whatsoever. They all have gas. They all have fatigue. They all have diarrhea. They all have migraines and back pain and some other disease that connect. Talk about it. Ask questions. Go to your doctor. Tell them how you feel. Don't keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself brings disease. Don't hold. There is problem. Ask. There is in my site, in my website, in my Instagram, there is so much information. I talk about it over and over again about fertility, about problems that you never thought are related to our colon. And they are fixable. Imagine you go years with a small problem that you can solve it long time ago. How frustrating it is.
Yeah, we need to be able to, we need to know all of our options to be able to choose the best option for us. And we can't possibly know everything there is to know about a specific subject without communicating with one another. Yeah.
For sure.
So thank you.
That's why I'm so thankful.
So glad you shared it with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add before we go, or tell people how to find?
No, if your audience are kind enough, they can find us at purecenter.com. You have all my links, and I can have my PR guy to send you everything you need. There is links to all my bio. Follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. There is a lot of conversation like this one about specific subject. You can order your supplements as well online. The book, it's amazing, funny book. Shit is in the dirty world. You can find it in Amazon and Walmart and Barnes and Noble. It's very funny, light, and explain what is colonics, why not to be afraid, in very simple that you can be related to. And that's pretty much a good wrap. I wish well and happiness to everybody, and stay happy.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.